गुरु साक्षात् परम ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We have to understand the real ekatvam, the real oneness. So for that, we are examining the three states, our own states, so that we come to see the oneness which is underlying the three states, at the same time free from the three states. That's a 2 point. Not only underlying the three states, but free from any state. It is stateless. It is stateless because it is on its own. It is independent and on its own. So we have to discover ourselves free from the states. For that we are examining the states. Okay, waking, dream. Why waking and dream? Because they are our own direct experiences. Secondly, they are our direct experiences. They are universal experiences. Third point is, these three include all other experiences. All our experiences, by examining these three states, we examine all other states. Everything is reduced to three alone, because nothing more than three. And these three are our own experiences and universal experiences. We say universal because everybody has these experiences. Therefore, as a result of examining these states, we leave out nothing. If there are personal, private, few experiences, you won't be able to include the world. Here we are including the entire world. By observing the universal experiences, they are not private, personal experiences. If there are private, personal experiences, like I examine my own personal experiences, you won't be able to understand. Each person doesn't have the same experience. You have some experience, I have my experience. If I talk of my experiences, you won't be able to understand. You talk of your personal experience, I won't be able to understand, because communication is impossible if you have your own private personal experience. Second point, it is not only universal, but they are comprehensive experience. Samagra. Samagra means they include the entire world. No world is left out, because we see the world is within the state. States are not occurring in the world. This is one more important point we need to understand about the states, is that the states, generally common man thinks that I wake up in the world. This also I said yesterday. I wake up in the world, I live in the world, and I disappear. I leave the world. World continues. In this understanding, you see the world as independent, and I am depending upon the world, one small part of the world. Even if I go away, world remains. That means the presence of the world is not included in my experience. It is outside my experience. My experience is small and the world is outside. So, in this way, by examining, if it were true, my experiences were personal and limited, they don't encompass. Encompass means pervade. If ಎಲ್ಲ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಪ್ರಪಂಚವನ್ನು ವ್ಯಾಪಿಸದಿದ್ದರೆ, if they don't encompass, they become too small experiences, limited experiences. World remains outside my experience. In that case, by examining my waking state, world doesn't get examined. World doesn't become examined if world was outside my state. See, if the world is outside my state, I examine such a state which doesn't cover, which doesn't include, which doesn't encompass the entire world. If such a limited experience, if I examine, then I won't be examining the world as a whole. That's why Mandukya Upanishad says, leave this common man's view, come to the Upanishadic view. Upanishad looks at the avastha, waking state, dream state in such a way that whatever the world that is experienced during that state, whichever world we experience during that state, all that world is included in that state. I repeat this. The whatever world we experience during that state, that world is included in that state. That world is not independent of the state. You understand it better. First, let us examine dream. Is dream world outside the dream state or dream experience? Is the dream world outside the dream state? No. Dream world is included in the dream state. If the dream world was not included, if the dream world were not included in the dream state, what would happen? When there is no dream state, the world should continue. When there is no dream state, the world should continue, but it is not continuing. World doesn't exist when there is no dream state. There is no dream world outside the dream state, independent of the dream state, apart from the dream state. Anyway, it means same. The dream world is not independent of dream state, outside the dream state, apart from the dream state. It is within the dream state. Dream state and dream world are just one, because dream world is included in the dream state. Similarly, waking world, you cannot think of the waking world, you can't imagine, you can't experience waking world outside the waking state, isn't it? However number of years you live, whatever the sun, moon, star, the earth, all the planets, the earth, the ocean, forests, mountains, even the human beings, animals, everything in the waking world is part of the waking state. That means you may not see every object. Every object of the waking state nobody sees. It's not possible also. Do we personally go and see every object in the waking state? We may not be able to see. Every object, every person we have not met in the waking world. Every person we have not met, every object we have not seen. But this much we understand, those objects, those people are part of the waking state. Aren't they? They are part of the waking state. They don't exist outside the state. So whenever you go and see them, whenever you happen to see them, they have to be in the waking state. You see them only in the waking state. Do you see any waking world, waking object remaining in the waking state? Or going out of the waking state, you come to see the waking world? You see the waking world only within the waking state, not outside the waking state. So within the world, a small part of the world we live in. Personally, we live a small part of the world, a few people, a few objects. We may not be able to personally go and see, but suppose if you want to see, if you want to see, if you want to touch, if you want to handle any objects in the waking world, where will you do? How will you do? Remaining in waking state only or outside the waking state? Remaining in the waking state. Even if you want to see them, even if you try to see them, all that has to be seen, being a waker alone you have to see. Not by dropping your wakerhood, not by ceasing to be a waker. In fact, by being a waker, as a waker alone, you travel in the waking world. You move in the waking world. You think of them, you experience them, see them, touch them, handle them, do anything only within the waking state alone. So, you can't imagine the waking world outside the waking state. You are not in the waking state. Okay? You are sleeping. Can you imagine the waking world? You can't imagine the waking world. You may say, okay, while I am sleeping, others are waking up. Okay? You may say, I am sleeping. When I am sleeping, others are waking up. So is the world not existing independent of my waking state? No, here also there is a mistake. See, that there is a waking state, that there is a waking world while I am sleeping is impossible to think of. Can you imagine the world existing when you are sleeping? When you are asleep, that means when you are out of waking state, that means you are not in waking state. Can you think of the world? Impossible. There is no world. When you come back to the waking means when you are in waking. This comeback is only a Laukika standpoint, worldly standpoint. When you are in waking, you again see the world. You see the people other than you. All the people other than you are part of your waking state alone. Just like the dream people, the people in the dream, whomever you see, all the people, they are all part of your dream state alone. They don't exist independent of your dream state. The people in the dream state don't exist outside your dream state. They are all part of your dream state. Similarly, the waking state too, all the people whom you see, they are part of your waking state. Some people say that, no, there is a difference between dream and waking. Okay. Some people, this is an objection. Here is an objection. They say there is a difference. Dream is a personal experience. Okay? Dream is a private, personal experience. Therefore, all other people in the dream are part of your dreaming state. Other people whom you see, whom you interact with, all those people are part of your dream state. When you wake up, when you cease to be a dreamer, they don't exist. That we can accept. But regarding waking state, it is different. Waking is not my private and personal state. This is an objection, note it. This is an objection. The student is asking. The objector is asking. We have to correct this understanding. This is a misunderstanding. It is a limited understanding. We have to correct it. What he says is, his misunderstanding is, waking is not a personal state. Like dream. Just as a dream is a personal, private state, all the people whom I interact with are part of my dream state. When I cease to dream, they don't exist. They also cease. When I cease to exist, I cease to dream, the people within the dream state, they too cease to exist. Unlike dream, waking is different. How different? He asked the question. Still student is asking the question. In waking, this is the difference. In waking, I am just as I am waking, other people are also waking like me. I am a waker, others are also waking. We all combined experiencing this combined waking state. Dream is my personal, private. Is waking my personal and private? This is the doubt about this is the doubt of a student. Okay? ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾರು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೋ ಇವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಇದೇ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಪ್ರಳಯ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತದೆ. ನಾನು ಮೊದಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ಈ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ತಯಾರಾಗಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ. They stitch a shirt for somebody, afterwards they give it to somebody else. Allave? You borrow somebody's shirt, stitched for somebody's size, and you borrow and wear it. Then how this table is meant for something else, and they bring it here, and it doesn't work. I think how many times this cell phone fell down, I don't know. In villages we would see the poor people, the small boy of 5 years old, he wears his father's shirts and come. It would go up to this thing and it will go, only shirt is enough. The poor boys, they wear like that. Like that, this table is like this. It is slope like this. Anything you put, it falls down. Anyway, so waking state, they say, unlike the dream state. What is this? In the temple? Today is Shivratri. Oh, in the road. Abba. That fellow is celebrating his Shivratri. This evening they are going to do some Abhisheka, puja here. I think, did you attend last year? Yeah, just like that. They are going to do in the evening. Sunday, 6 to 9 puja Abhisheka ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಂತೆ. So if you can come, you can visit. Evening 6 to 9 here only they will do. And go away. One yama. Yama means 3 hours, 6 to 9. So, dream is a private personal. The student is asking, still he is asking, we will answer later. First we are repeating student's question. In dream is a private personal, therefore other people with whom I interact, they are part of my dream. When I cease to be a dreamer, when I have no dream state, they also disappear with me. But waking is different. See his question. Waking is different. When I come into waking state, they are not coming with me. They existed before I came. And when we are living here, we are together enjoying the waking state. Okay. They are also wakers like me. I am also waker. They are also wakers. We are all combined wakers, joint wakers. Okay. And then when I go away, they continue. They continue. Next time I come again, when I join, they are already wakers. I come and join. This is the waking state and that is the dream state. This is how waking state is different from dream. How can you say waking is similar to dream? Waking, therefore, waking world is not part of the waking state. Waking world is independent. My state is only a small thing. Tentatively, I come and experience it and I go away, but the world continues. This is the question of a student. Here, there is one mistake. Waking world, the reality is, waking world is part of the waking state exactly like the dream. No difference whatsoever. Waking state is exactly similar to the dream state. Just as dream state pervades the entire dream world, waking state also pervades the entire waking world. Then what about others? Others are also part of your waking state. Note this point. This is most important. Whom you see in your waking state, they are part of your waking state. They are not existing independent of you. Note this. This is very important. Because do you ever experience a combined waking state, a joint waking state? Is there a joint perception? I see this. Okay? When I perceive, you also perceive. Okay? I am seeing it, you are also seeing it. Is there a joint perception? We together, you see, I see, we all see together. Is there a joint perception? Each one sees independently. When I see, you are seeing your perception is not included in my perception. See, there is no joint perception. When I see it, you also might be seeing. I only say that. Similarly, waking state when I am experiencing, other people are part of my waking state. See, just as I see the people in my dream as part of my dream state, the people living in my dream are part of my dream state. Similarly, exactly same way, the people in my waking state are part of my waking state, because there is no joint experience of waking state. I am here, I am experiencing waking state, others are also part of my waking state. Therefore, they are all included in my waking state. I cannot think of them independent of my waking state. You may say, I go to sleep and come back. This going to sleep and coming back to waking, while in waking alone you think of others again, isn't it? During my sleeping, I was not in the waking state for a short while. I was sleeping, but others were waking. This experience, you have it only when you are waking again. Again, when you are in waking alone, this thought you extend it, that when I was not waking, others are existing. Even this extension of the waking, extension of the waking, even while I was not waking, I was sleeping, others were waking. This thought is also not your direct experience. When I am sleeping, others are waking is not your own direct experience. This comes to you only when you are waking again when you are in waking alone. Not this. Again when you are in waking, you see these people existed when I was sleeping. But your own experience directly you didn't have when you are in deep sleep. You didn't see the waking state. Only when you are in waking state, you see that these people existed even when I was not. This is only an imagination. Extending this waking state to your deep sleep. But deep sleep, you are not. You look at your state directly. You look at your sushupti, your deep sleep directly. In your direct deep sleep, there is no waking state. When you talk of the waking, again when you are in waking alone, you talk of others. That means others are present only in my waking state. They are only, just as I see this wall, I see the buildings, chairs, etc., I see other human beings also. Isn't it? I see other human beings like all these people. They are part of my waking state. Note, this is very important. And this is true also. Others are part of my waking state. They don't exist independent of my waking state. Therefore, dream and waking state both are exactly similar, no difference. Generally, we think these people are independent. They are also, that they are looking at me, that they are talking to me is a part of your waking state. Others are sitting in front of me. They are looking at me is a part of yours. Otherwise, can you see their experience? Can you feel their experience? Just as can you feel others' hunger? Somebody is hungry, somebody is thirsty, or others are feeling some headache or pain. Can you feel their pain? You can't feel. You only imagine based upon their narration. As he explains, see, I have this pain, based upon their words you imagine, but you can't directly feel. Similarly, you can't share their waking experience. Just as you can't feel their feeling, you can't feel their pain, you can't feel their hunger and thirst. Similarly, you can't share their waking experience. Can you share their waking experience? Therefore, they are part of my waking experience. I can't share their waking experience. They are also waking like me. As I am awake, they are also awake. It is only an imagination. It is not true. It is not your direct experience, isn't it? Others are experiencing, sharing my waking state is only an imagination. Others are part of my waking state is a reality, is your direct experience. You understand the difference? ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ನಾವು ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡು ಎಚ್ಚರವನ್ನು ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಎ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಬಿಟ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಐ ಟೆಲ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್, ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಫಾರ್ ದೆಮ್. ಎಚ್ಚರ ವೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟನ್ನು, ಜಾಗೃತ ಅವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅವರು ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವರ ಹಸಿವು ಬಾಯಾರಿಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲವೋ, ಅವರ ನೋವು ಸುಖ ದುಃಖ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲವೋ, ಅವರು ಎಚ್ಚರವನ್ನು ನೋಡುತ್ತಾರೆ ಎಂಬ ಅನುಭವ ನನಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಐ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಶೇರ್ ದೇರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸಸ್ waking. How do you know that they are waking like you and experiencing it? How do you know? It's only your imagination. Just like the people in dream. Just as you see the people in dream, similarly you see the people in the waking. So they are part of my waking state. I am experiencing a waking state in which they are existing, but their experience you can't directly share. You can't feel. It's only an imagination, wild imagination. It's a great mistake also. It's adhyasa, that imagining that others are also living like me, others also experiencing waking state like me, is my own adhyasa you are extending to others. My own adhyasa we are extending to others. Otherwise, others are part of my waking state. Okay. So when I am sleeping, others, even this is my imagination. When I am, just as others' pain and pleasure, others' hunger and thirsts are my imaginations, not my direct experiences. Do I experience others' hunger and thirst, pain and pleasure directly? No way. I used to imagine in my younger days, childhood days, how others feel hunger and thirst. People say, see, mother and other generally say, oh, he must be feeling hungry. A lot of time passed. So since morning he has not taken food. I would wonder, how does she know? How does she know his hunger? My mother would say, how does she know? I would say. And they say, the mother knows. How does she know? Mother start feeling others' hunger? No mother can feel. So we can say, okay, in worldly sense, you have a sympathy, empathy, you can understand others' feeling. That only shows your kindness, your generosity, you are able to understand others, but directly you can't experience. Understanding from your heart is different. That is an understanding of the heart, but not an experience. Okay? Understanding through heart is different, but not your direct experience of others' hunger. If you start feeling others' hunger, do you experience others' fever? If other is experiencing fever, temperature, can you feel others' temperature? If you start feeling temperature, my God, every doctor will become sick only. If a doctor starts feeling the sickness of patient, no doctor can afford to be in the hospital. If every patient comes, every patient's problem, if doctor gets it, no doctor will be able to treat. They will run away from the hospital. They will never come to hospital again. Because it's not a direct experience. You have a heart to feel, that's different. It's a sympathy, it's an understanding, it's a feeling, but not experience. Okay? Similarly, in waking, just to compare, contrast I am telling you. Similarly, in the waking state, others are there, but others are part of my experience. I am seeing them, that's all. I can't feel their experiences. I can't experience their experiences. Therefore, there is no combined waking experience. Joint waking experience you don't have, you can't have, it's impossible. It's impossible. Therefore, there is only one waking experience which I am experiencing. And all others are part of my waking experience. This one thing shifts your vision completely, isn't it? This changed. Swamiji discussed this in a small booklet in Sanskrit. What is that? Pratasmarana Stotra. In that thing he discussed it. When I read it first time, whole thing is changed. Thereafter the world has become different now. Once you understand these things, world is different. Therefore, other people are part of my waking state. World is also part of my waking state. The sun, moon, star, and the earth, planet, all these things. The ocean, mountain, animals, plants, they are all part of the waking state. That means when you experience them, they are part of the waking state. You imagine that they exist. When you imagine that they exist, okay, when I am sleeping, they exist. Where do they exist? In the waking state alone. Whose waking state? When I wake up. That means in my waking state alone they exist, that's all. Whether I am in waking state now or whether I have become waking state next. Okay, now I am in this waking state, tomorrow I will be in the waking state. Are there two waking states? Say, this is one more thing. Yesterday I had waking state. I slept. Again I woke up. Do you have a second waking state? Just like you had one dream. Okay? You had one dream. You wake up from the dream. Next day you have another dream. Do you enter into the same dream? Why? Why can't? Do you enter into the same dream? There is no continuity of the same dream. But whereas waking, when you go to sleep and come back, the same waking state continues. Therefore, they say, dream is limited, personal, but waking is real, they say. It is real because there is a continuity of waking. Waking is a stiram, sthiratvam asti. Sthiratvam andre sthiravagide, break aagta illa. Hege, just as a dream breaks, each time you have a new dream state. Each time you have a new dream state. You break, you come out of the dream state. Next day you go to dream. Do you continue the old dream? No. But the waking state, what happens? You go to sleep and you wake up. The same waking state you continue. Therefore, waking is real, dream is personal, private. This is student's question. The answer is, even here there is a big mistake. There is a big mistake of Jiva. Jiva is committing a big mistake here. The mistake he doesn't understand, he won't be able to understand unless Shastra or Guru points out. Nobody understands, even Nara understood. After Shastra told, I understood my mistake. Everybody, no Jiva can understand this. Waking state is also same like a dream. See the difference. See how it is, I'll show you now. When you are in dream, what do you think? Don't you see that? Do you see that I have entered into dream just now? Do you feel that I have entered now just now? Do you ask the people in the dream? Do you ask the people in dream, hey, when did you come to the dream? Did you ask them? And they say that, oh, then you tell that I have entered just now. I have entered a short while ago, a few minutes ago. But when did you come to the dream? They say, oh, I have been existing for years together. Some fellows say, centuries I have been here alone. Do you feel like that? Do you say that just now I have entered? Whenever you are in dream, you think that I have not entered a dream, nobody feels. This dream world has been there. We are all living in this world. We are continuing in the same. Even in dream, while experiencing it looks like waking only. Not this. While experiencing the dream, you feel that it is a waking alone. Nobody ever experiences a dream. Not this point. Nobody ever experiences a dream. While experiencing the dream, it was only a waking state. Okay. I repeat it. While experiencing the dream, you experienced it as a waking state alone. Okay. You never felt that it is a dream, I am dreaming. After waking up, you call it a dream, not while experiencing it. Okay. You call it a dream only after leaving it. Only after dropping it, leaving it, you come out of it, you call it dream. Otherwise, while experiencing, it was the waking state alone. Okay. There in the waking state, that means dream, while experiencing, it was a waking state. There also you say early morning. You are dreaming as if you are in the early morning in the dream state. Early morning somebody comes, some visitor comes, and then you get a coffee and you have to start drinking. Then you say, oh, I had a very good sleep. Now yesterday you remember the people. Okay? You remember the people whom you talked yesterday. Yesterday and today you are talking of yesterday and today in the dream. Okay? Yesterday's people, you are talking to them. And the things, you are reading a book, suppose. You are reading a book, you read up to some 15th page and leave it there. It was a very late night and you are feeling sleepy, you slept. When you morning you wake up, start from the 16th page in the dream. Now don't you see that you had yesterday in the dream state and the present today and yesterday? But where is that yesterday? Was it a separate dream state? The yesterday in the dream state, was it a separate dream state and today another dream state? Did you have two dream states? It is the same one state continuity, one continuous state. Yesterday and today, this yesterday, today, this continuation is all continuation put together is one dream state. Okay, yesterday's state, today's state, all this continuity constitutes one dream state. Similarly here, yesterday, today, all this constitutes one state alone. You are not entering and going and coming. Going and coming is also part of the same state. Not this. Just as in dream, you go to sleep, again you wake up into that same dream state. You were dreaming, the night came, you slept in the dream state you slept, you wake up into the same dream. Okay, your earlier dream state, but while experiencing it was waking. Okay, not that. While experiencing the dream state, it was waking. You were awake, lived for some time, felt sleepy, you slept, you again woke up. Now, are there two dream states or only one? All that is one, but we call all that state is only one state. Similarly, this waking state is one only. Yesterday, today, all that is one state. This one state put together is exactly like the dream state. Therefore, others are also part of my state. Therefore, other people are existing, world is existing. Even when I am sleeping, the world is there. Similar to dream. In dream also you felt, while I was asleep, these people were there. Suppose you are dreaming, in the dream, you are dreaming as if you woke up in the early morning. Okay? Morning you woke up, you are talking to your friends, and they say, supposing you are telephoning, in the dream you are telephoning to somebody. See, yesterday I told you I wanted something to a businessman, to a shopkeeper, that I want something. You told you will send it next day. Now are you ready? Are you sending today? I have already told you and paid you money. Do you send it? In the dream you had yesterday and today. Okay? Then how do you remember the yesterday and today? All that is one state. Similarly, this also, yesterday, today, all there are not two waking states. There is only one state. Okay. Therefore, this is also one wakeful consciousness. In this one wakeful consciousness, you see the entire world is part of you. So, yesterday is also part of the same state. And today also the same state, just like in dream. Therefore, all this constitutes one wakeful consciousness. Therefore, world is part of your wakeful consciousness. This is what I wanted to say. World is within the state. Just as a dream world is within the dream state, similarly, waking world is part of the waking state, not outside the waking state. Just as a dream world is not outside the dream state. Okay. One more thing I tell you about the time and space. This also we have discussed many times in Kannada. Okay. In any state, you experience the past, present and future. The time which you experience, past, present and future, with reference to individuality. Even the science says that you take a point. From a point alone you measure the time. A point of space is a point of time. You take a point of space, that with that point alone you measure the past, present and future. Similarly, this individuality is the point. Taking this individuality as a point, you say that there was yesterday, previous time, past, present and future. So, the waking past and present and future, the beginningless past, the endless future, the entire time is part of waking state. Okay, we talk of yesterday, years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, your entire life is part of your waking state. Not only that, your history, even before you were born, your parents were there, grandparents were there, then the Indian history were there. You read the history books, there were some kings ruling here, before that another king, still another king. All that is a part of your waking state alone. And future also, you don't know how many years, all that goes on. Similarly, dream also you had the same way. In dream also you had yesterday, day before. You dream you went to the school. The teacher teaches you that your history was there. Oh, there was some kings ruling this country. And then you are, much before you were born, centuries ago it happened. All centuries of life you are listening in the dream. Okay? Centuries of life you are listening to all that past centuries belonging to dream alone, within the dream alone. The centuries of past. Why centuries? There, if you study, what is that? Evolution. Modern scientists say there is a Darwin's evolution, the biological evolution. Then how world is born, the cosmos is born, there was a big bang and all that. Okay. Before big bang was, what was there? There was a silent bang. Silent bang means no bang. There was no bang, and later big bang, all that came. Before that, what was there? There is no bang, nothing. It was all silent. It was all nothing. Okay. From that nothing on, nothing means beginningless. From that beginningless time, the whole world you are seeing within the dream alone. Future also you will imagine that after my death this world will continue, our future generations will come. You imagine all that in the dream. Similarly is the waking. So all the beginningless past and the endless future, the whole time belongs to waking state. All the space within the waking state. Kilometers, thousands of kilometers. You go to Himalayas or what is that? Everest and all that. Even beyond Everest, go to China and go to that North Pole, Northern Pole. Go beyond the Northern Pole, you will see the America on the other side. Okay. Europe and America on the other side. So you go there, and still you go there, you reach the southern pole. Okay, north, southern, the entire earth is within your state alone. So within the state you travel all over the globe, entire space is within your state alone. Therefore, the whole world, time and space. So the objects exist within time and space. Every object exists within time because it occupies certain space. Because it has a shape and quality, it occupies certain space, it exists in certain time. It is no object exists independent of space and time. Okay, so therefore, waking objects exist within the waking space and time. Dream objects exist in the dream space and time. You can't take dream objects out of the dream space and time. Can you take dream objects out of the dream space and bring it to waking? You can't bring them because they can't exist. Dream objects exist within the dream space and time. Similarly, waking objects, waking world exists within the waking space and time. Outside this waking space and time, waking world has no existence. Now, how does the time and space come? Time and space itself doesn't exist. See, this is a strange thing. World exists within space and time. Space and time exist because you are experiencer. You exist as an experiencer, then only there is a space and time. These three are interconnected. Worldly objects, the entire world consists of worldly objects. Worldly objects exist in space and time. The waking world consists of waking objects. Waking objects exist in waking space and time. Waking space and time doesn't exist without the waker, waking person, subject. So without the subject, there are no objects. Therefore, time and space is experienced by you as an individual. Suppose you are going to sleep. You went to sleep. Where is the time and place? When there is no space and time, where does the waking world exist? Or any world for that matter. World can exist only within space and time. The space and time is only an experience of the mind. Therefore, world is within space and time. Space and time is an experience of mind. Mind is only when there is an individual knower. Subject only when there is a subject. So in short, subject, his mind, space and time, world. All these four are one unit. Okay, world means objects. Objects exist in space and time. Space and time is in the mind. Without mind you can't experience. The mind is to an individual when there is a subject. Without subject there is no mind also. Okay, the mind is experienced by an individual as a subject. So from the subject up to the world, all this is one unit. Okay, you can't separate one from the other. Can you imagine a pen without space and time? Or can you imagine only space and time without object? Without objects, only space and time. That also doesn't exist. Therefore, objects cannot exist without space and time. World means objects. Objects means space and time. Space and time means mind. Mind means an experience. The experience means experiencer. Okay? The experiencer, that is subject, who is experiencer. The experience, which is mind. Mind experiences time and space. Within the time and space is world. Now tell me, world and subject and object, they are all one unit. Can you separate them? Do I make sense? ಅರ್ಥವಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ತಪ್ಪು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್, ಎಲ್ಲ ಅನುಭವದಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ. It is just everybody's experience. We are not imagining, we are not imposing, nothing to be believed. Everything we are just analyzing, examining our own experiences which are universal. Therefore, the entire waking world is a part of a waking state. So I started with this. Waking state pervades the entire waking world. This point we have explained now. Waking state is only a pervasive state. It is not a small within the world. Now you understand the thing. Waking state is not within the waking world. Waking world and state are one. Earlier, common man thought, an ordinary man, an ignorant man, a layman thought that waking state is within the waking world. Here he does a big mistake. Here now, after examining so much, we come to understand waking state, waking state and waking world, they are not two. They are just one. Indivisibly one. Inseparably one. One can't exist without the other. So the world is part of the waking state. Waking state, we generally say world is part of the waking state because we are experiencing the state, therefore we say, but in fact they are not two. World and the state are not two. World as a whole you take it, not individual objects. World as a whole. World as a whole is part of entire waking state. So part of means state and world is one, in fact. The entire state is one with the world. State extends as long as the world extends. I think this is a better expression. Okay, the state continues, state extends. How far does it spread? The waking state spreads, extends. How long? As long as the world exists. As far as the world exists. As far as the world exists, the state extends. And then where the world ends, the state ends. Where the state ends, world ends. Because both are one. Waking state and waking world are two words of the one experience. We are using two words, but experience is one. We are using two words for the same experience, which is indivisible. The division is a misunderstanding of jiva. All jivas make mistake here by dividing them. Our own one unit experience, we divide them and see one over the other, one within the other. That is a mistake. Jiva's mistake has to be corrected by this understanding. That's why in Vedanta, inquiry means what? Questioning means what? There are certain ideas we take for granted, certain understanding jiva takes for granted ಅಂದರೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಇದ್ದಂತೆ ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. We take for granted. So what we took for granted, we question them whether is it true? Is it true the way I understand, or this understand will change after examining it? You examine again, your earlier understanding goes wrong. You come to discover a new understanding. That's what is inquiry. Vedanta is just an inquiry. Just like a scientific inquiry, it is an inquiry. It's just an investigation, examination. Therefore, waking state is extending the entire waking world. Then waking state is an experience. What is state again? World is nothing but state. State is an experience. Experience means consciousness. Experience andre enu? Consciousness. Arivu. So state means there is no state outside your consciousness. Okay. There is no state outside your consciousness. State is consciousness only. So the world is equal to state. State is equal to consciousness. World is equal to your experience. Experience is to the experiencer, the subject. Therefore, subject, experience, state, and the world, all these are simply names of one experience. This is one unit, vande akhanda, one indivisible unit. So this you see the experience. Here one more. This entire waking world is a part of consciousness. Here a step changes now. We go a little deeper. So the consciousness, wakeful consciousness, is pervading the entire waking world. Wakeful consciousness, here one more deeper step. Wakeful consciousness is pervading the object as well as the subject. This is important step. Wakeful consciousness is pervading all our experiences, all our emotions, all our thoughts, all our various experiences. It is pervading. The consciousness is pervading means within the consciousness all this happen. Within the consciousness, the entire mental experiences of emotions and thoughts. Okay, so the consciousness pervades all our emotions, all our thoughts, all our experiences, good and bad, anything. Deeper experiences, superficial experiences, tentative experiences, long stretching experiences. Okay, tentative and long standing experiences. All the experiences are within the consciousness. Consciousness is spreading so much. Consciousness is spreading all our experiences. It is the basis of all our time and space. Time and space is also an experience. Time and space is also experience. Therefore, time and space is also within consciousness alone. Is my mic working? Okay. The time and space is also within the consciousness alone. Consciousness is pervading the entire time and space. Then when it is pervading the entire time and space, through time and space, it pervades the entire world also. Okay, so the consciousness is pervading, spreading, vyapisuttade, pervading all our experiences, pervading the time and space, pervading the entire world. One more thing, consciousness is pervading the subject also. Even subject is part of consciousness. This is where we have to learn as an extra point. Is subject same as consciousness, or consciousness is larger, vaster than subject? This is the new point. First we taught world and subject is one, entire state is one. Now this new step we have to learn, consciousness is larger than the subject, because it includes subject, experiences, time and space and object. Consciousness is underlying the subject and object. It includes both. Whenever you perceive an object, whenever you think of an object, is that object part of your consciousness or not? Object, when it comes to your awareness, comes to your experience, it is within your awareness. When it is outside your awareness, it becomes only avyakta. It becomes only unmanifest. It becomes simply unmanifest. The world is the world, subject and object, time and space, everything, entire thing is within consciousness. So the wakeful consciousness is pervading the entire waking state, including the subject, because the subject is present in the consciousness, wakeful consciousness. When the subject goes away, what happens? Then you may ask, how does the subject go? Subject means waking individual. How does the subject go? Subject goes away in dream. Waking subject disappears. Waking subject disappears in dream. Waking subject disappears in dream, deep sleep. Andre Sushupti. Waking subject, Veka, as a person, as an individual, disappears in the dream, disappears in the deep sleep. What about the waking consciousness? See, the wakeful consciousness and waking individual. Okay? These are one we thought. We thought waking individual and wakeful consciousness is one. Here is a little difference. Wakeful consciousness is independent of the Veka. This is extra point we have to learn. Wakeful consciousness is vaster, larger than the waking individual. When waking individual dissolves, disappears, consciousness continues. Wakeful consciousness continues even when the waking individual disappears. When waking individual disappears, waking world disappears. When the waking subject disappears, waking world disappears. Okay. So the waking subject, waking object, when both, that means entire waking world dissolves, consciousness doesn't dissolve. This is important point. How do you know consciousness doesn't dissolve? Waking subject goes away or not in dream? Definitely waking subject goes away. What about wakeful consciousness? Consciousness continues. How do you know? Because it is conscious of the dream world. See, the wakeful consciousness erasing the waking individuality, erasing the waking world, it survives the waking world. It survives ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಇದ್ದು ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. Waking world ಹೋದ ನಂತರನೂ ಅದು ಇದ್ದು ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. Waking world, it survives the disappearance of the waking world. Wakeful consciousness survives the disappearance of the waking world. Waking world disappears, consciousness continues. Continues means it survives. It just stays. How do you know it stays? Because we have another state. The another state, consciousness of another state itself proves that even after erasing of the waking individuality, consciousness survives. It doesn't go away with the waking world. Does consciousness, if consciousness goes away with the waking world, you would not have had dream world. There would not have been deep sleep. But we have a dream state. We have a deep sleep. What does it indicate? It shows that the same wakeful consciousness, after erasing the waking world, survives to watch, survives to be able to illumine the dream world. The same consciousness survives the disappearance, the erasal of waking world. It survives to be able to illumine the dream world. Okay, and it erases the dream world also. Same consciousness survives. Okay, it survives the erasing of dream world, survives erasing of the waking world, though it is common to both. It is a common illumination, common consciousness for both. Itself is not an individual, because an individual subject is related to object. Okay, as an individual you are related to the world. Subject is related to the object. Without object, subject cannot live. Without object, waking subject can't live. When object goes away, subject goes away. Subject, objects are two sides of the same coin. Two sides of the same coin. Okay, both this side and that side. So subject, object both goes away. The consciousness, which is neither subject nor object, which is neither subject nor object, it just is conscious. Consciousness of what? What is it conscious of? There is no object to talk of. It is just consciousness. It survives to illumine the dream. When the dream also disappears, it illumines waking. When both of them disappear, it remains itself. That's what we call deep sleep. In deep sleep, it just remains itself without an object. Okay, without a state. Therefore, deep sleep itself, the direct experience of deep sleep is not a state. We take it as a state from the waking standpoint. This point we have to discuss. I think time is up. We'll discuss tomorrow. So, when you look from the waking state, deep sleep looks like a state, but itself is not a state. How? As you are in the deep sleep, look at yourself as you are, not as you look at deep sleep. See, from the waking you look at the deep sleep. Oh, I was there for a short while and came away. People staying as a waker, he thinks he is going to sleep. Stayed there for a while and come out. So as a waker, you are feeling as if you are going and staying for some time, come back. So when you think of going, staying and coming back, who are you? Still you are a waker. As a waker, you think of going, staying there and come back. Okay, so the going and staying and coming back is a standpoint of a waker. But as you are in sleep, deep sleep, how do you see? As you are in deep sleep, you just are. There is existence, pure existence, dimensionless existence. Dimension andre paridhi. Ondu parimiti illada, antavillada, dimensionless existence. Okay, it is timeless. Deep sleep has no time. That means no beginning and ending. So beginning of deep sleep nobody experienced. It is the waker who thinks that deep sleep begins, but the sleep itself, nobody, the very experience of deep sleep, nobody sees the beginning of it. From the standpoint of the deep sleep, experience of deep sleep, do you see that now the deep sleep has begun? When you go to sleep, when you enter into deep sleep, do you say that, yeah, just now the deep sleep has begun now? Do you ever see? The beginning cannot be thought of, because the beginning is a time, time is a thought. Thought belongs to waking state. Deep sleep has no thought. Time is a thought. Thought belongs to waking state. Deep sleep has no thought, therefore no time. It's a timeless experience. Timeless means no beginning. No beginning, no ending. It's just existence. An existence without beginning. An existence which cannot be thought in terms of beginning and ending. Okay? You cannot put any beginning and ending to the deep sleep. Means the time, the relationship of time, that means beginning and ending. No battery, it says. I think he is advising me to stop it. Battery salpane ide. There is a very battery getting exhausted. Okay, so just I'll finish it in 2 minutes, 1 minute. So we have to discuss more about deep sleep. Anyway, I'm touched briefly. We'll discuss more tomorrow. So deep sleep means the very consciousness without subject and object. Without thought, there is a consciousness. Consciousness without a thought of a subject, without a thought of a object. There is no thought of subject and object. There is no thought of time. There is no thought of space. It just is. The pure existence, that is deep sleep. Therefore, you take deep sleep as the experience is. You are independent of everything. Tentatively, this is enough. We'll discuss more about it tomorrow. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tat Sat.